Welcome to the Raising Smart Kids podcast. I'm your host, Yang Pratt, and each week we'll explore ways in which the arts can help you raise a smarter kid. I'll be sharing ways the arts can propel your child's learning and interviewing top artists, educators, and entrepreneurs. These guests will share why the arts are so very important to your child, along with actionable ideas you can easily implement into your already busy schedule. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast here on iTunes and share us with a friend. For extra tips on raising smart kids, head on over to artsmartparenting.com and click on the Live tab. Happy Halloween, everyone. I'm recording this edition of the podcast on Halloween Day, so I wanted to start by wishing you a happy Halloween. So most likely you'll be listening to this episode post-Halloween, so I'm hoping that your Halloween was really enjoyable. You had some time to get dressed up, get silly, and just have a really, really great time with your kids on Halloween. Well, I want to welcome you back to episode number 92 of the Raising Smart Kids 2.0 podcast. If we haven't met yet, my name is Yang Pratt, and I'll be your guide on this journey into parenting through the arts as well as through technology. You may remember me mentioning in episodes past that towards the end of this year, going into 2018, we're going to be changing the nature of the podcast a bit to really broaden our reach of parents and kids and really speak to creating kids to be creative, nurturing their creativity, nurturing their problem-solving skills, helping them to know who they are and what they can create through the arts and technology is so important and so needed on this planet. So today, nearly 100 episodes in, we have a first here on the podcast. So I'm going to grab this real quick. I wanted to talk about a subject and really talk about one book in particular that was recommended to me as a mom raising two daughters as really sort of a guide to help me through those transitions from childhood through adulthood. And I know for some parents that this transition can be a bit scary, a bit spooky, which is why I'm recording it on Halloween, but it is a topic that we need to discuss nonetheless. So again, this is a book that I was recommended to me, and it's called Untangled. I think on the video it's going to be backwards, but I will put the link down below to Amazon where you can get a copy of this book and we can go through it together and really dive in deep and have some discussions about this book. So the title again is Untangled, Guiding Teenage Girls Through the 7 Transitions into Adulthood by Lisa Damour, PhD. Now, I'm not very far into this book, but it's fascinating because on every page turn, I feel as though she is speaking directly to me, and she's walked in my footsteps dealing with some issues that we all will deal with as we raise our kids into adulthood. So I wanted just to let you know what's in this book and why I think that anyone raising a daughter may be interested in picking up a copy for yourself. So through the book, it's separated into different parts. So part 1 is all about parting with childhood, getting the cold shoulder, being allergic to questions, being surprisingly mean. There's an example of a swimming pool. Totally competent, except for when she's not. Blooming reluctantly, smoke without fire. And there's a section here about parting with childhood when to worry. And that's just in part one. So you can see why I'm so eager to really dive into this book. And I really feel again like the author is speaking directly to me. She is a therapist and she works with families in this transition from childhood to adulthood. Section number 2 is about joining a new tribe. And she talks about popularity, tribal warfare, frenemies. If your tribe jumped off a bridge, when tribes need elders, social media skills, and joining a new tribe when to worry. So I love that each section of the book is really capped with things to think about and when there's reason to worry and maybe when it is important to reach out to somebody versed in these ideas to get some help. Because as parents, there certainly is no user manual, and we all need help from time to time. Sure, we can support each other, but isn't it great though to know there are people like Dr. Damour who spend their whole careers working with kids transitioning from childhood to adulthood and can let us know when there are things to worry about and really when that we should reach out for help. Section 3 is all about harnessing emotions. Section 4, contending with adult authority. Section 5, planning the future. Section 6, entering the romantic world. And Chapter 7, caring for herself. Now, if any of these topics are of interest to you, I'm going to leave a copy of this book to get at Amazon, which is where I got mine. It is not an affiliate link. It is just a link to share with you. So you can get a copy of this book and we can open the dialogue about raising our daughters into adulthood and overcoming those challenges together. If you would be interested in joining me as we go through the book together, I would love that. Leave a comment down below here on Facebook or over on YouTube, wherever you're watching this version of the podcast. And I will also leave a link there to let you know how you can get this book. But I would love to know what questions you have. Is this a topic that is of interest to you? Again, as a mom raising 2 daughters, this is on my must-read list, and it really just, again, speaks to me at a level of where I am, and she addresses concerns that I have now, and yes, I can talk about it with my other friends who have teenagers, but every child is different, and we all need to sort of navigate our own path, and we can support one another for sure, but everything's going to unfold in its own unique way, just like the way your kids learn. Every child is different and their learning needs are different. And the fact that schools teach and test to 2 of the 8 superpowers that I address in my own book, Raising a Superhero, and really thinking about what happens to those kids who don't fall into the 2 of those 8. How does their path unfold for them? Does it look different if they don't fit that mold of being schoolhouse smart versus being artistically smart or creatively smart, problem-solving smart? There are all these ways for kids to express themselves, to know, to learn, and we as parents can help guide them in that journey. So my friends, I'm going to end this episode saying that I hope you had an amazing Halloween. We are heading out trick-or-treating tonight, as well as going to a friend's Halloween party, and I'll be dressing up as a mama kangaroo. And at the top of this video, I held up this costume and showed you the little Joey in the pocket, which I think is why I gravitated toward this costume in particular. I was wearing it earlier making videos and it was really, really hot, so I took it off. So anyway, if you are watching this video over on YouTube, do me a favor, would you? subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get further updates about the podcast, about great books that we're going to be reading, about what is to come when we combine arts and technology here on the podcast and bring on experts to you to help you navigate those waters of social media, technology, how kids are speaking to one another on technology, how we're going to be teaching kids to be intentional with their technology. So much fun to come here on the podcast, including a name change. So be on the lookout for all of these exciting things. I wish you a very happy Halloween. I'll leave a link to get this book over on Amazon so we can dive in together and guide our teenage girls through the 7 transitions into adulthood. Okay, my friends, I will catch you next week. We're right back here on the podcast. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in to the Raising Smart Kids 2.0 podcast. To really accelerate your ability to unleash your child's superpowers and raise smarter kids through the arts, we're creating loads of new resources, ways to connect, and ways to celebrate your successes. You can join our free Facebook community by visiting theartsmartparent.com or just search up Raising Smart Kids 2.0 on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you inside our community.